Beautiful people, and welcome. In today's video, we will be discussing how to combine like terms. Now, a like term we're going to define that in this class as a term that has the same letter attached or no letters attached. Now, if you recall from our previous video, a letter is considered a variable. And a variable represents an unknown number. All right, so a variable is an unknown number. And so let's go ahead and just list some like terms. I want to point out that even though some terms have the same letter, it's not really the same letter, so I want to make sure that you guys can see the difference. So like terms, let's do some examples. We can say 5v and negative 10v are like terms. Another example could be 7w and 3w and 6w and negative 7w. So what we're looking for when we are identifying like terms, we are looking for the same letter. So in this example, we have W, 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 W. In this one here, we have a V and a V. So because you have the same letter, the same variable, you are able to combine them. However, there's a big old but. So these are not like terms. The following examples. If you have something like 5v and negative 10v squared, the letter has to be the same. It's in the name like. We want them alike. If they are not the same, then they are no longer like terms, and we have to treat them as if they are completely different, which they are. For example, we have v and v squared. So this is v, this is v squared. They are different, therefore they are not like terms. You cannot combine these together. You cannot do it. If you combine these together, it will be incorrect. You have to make sure that you understand that something like v and v squared, they are different, and they are unlike terms. Another example of an unlike term could be if I have 6z, 6 negative, let's do negative, z squared, 5z cubed, negative 10z to the fourth power, and etc., etc. Again, because these are different, you have a z, you have a z squared, you have a z to the third, and you have z to the fourth. These are all different, so we cannot combine them. Let's go ahead and do some examples of combining like terms. For example 1, Let's start with 5v and 3v. So what does this equal? We're going to combine all the like terms. This says I have 5 v's. This says I have 3 v's. And what kind? Make sure you're always taking the sign in front. I have positive. And this one here, again, mathematicians are what? They are lazy. So if there's nothing in front, that means it's a plus. So I have v's. How many? 5. Are they positive or negative? Positive. I have v's. How many? 3. Do I have positive or negatives? Positive. So what you're going to do is you're going to say I have 5 v's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they? They are positive. Now on this side, what do I have? V's. How many? 3. Are they positive or negative? Positive. I have 1, 2, 3. At this point, you need to ask yourself a question. Are there any zero pairs? And remember, a zero pair is one positive and one negative combined to make 0. So do we have any positive and a negative in order to combine them in order to make a 0? And in this case, I only have positives. So then after you determine if you have any zero pairs or not, you find out what you have, just so you're going to count them. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V's, 6, 7, 8 V's. 8 V's that are positive. And so you have combined like terms and simplified this expression. Let's try example number 2. I'm going to throw in a few extra things for you. 3w plus 4x minus 7q's plus 4w's minus 4x's plus 10q's. And again, our task or our objective is to combine like terms. So now we have to identify which ones are the same, which ones are different. So in the first one, I see a 3w, so I know I have 3 w's. Make sure you're always taking the sign with it. So let me go ahead and do that. Always take the sign in front of the number. That's where it belongs. Okay, so I have 3 w's. Do I have any more w's? I'm going to search. There it is. I see another w. Do I have any more w? I do not. Next up, I have 4 x's. Do I have any more 4 x's? Let's see. I do have a minus 4x here. And the next step, what do I have? I have q's. Let's see if I have another highlighter here. I should have another highlighter. There it is. So I have minus 7 q's. Do I have any more q's? Yes, I do. I have a plus q. So let's go ahead and write them out just like we did previously. I have 3 w's. W's, how many? 3. What's my sign? Plus. So I have 3 w's. I have, trying to color code this for you guys. I have 4 positive x's. So I have x. How many? 4. What's the sign? Plus. I have q's. How many? 7. What's the sign? Minus. I have 4 w's that are positive. I have 4 x's that are negative. And I have 10 q's that are positive. Okay, so now that you have written everything out, we're going to combine like terms. So combine the letters the way that they are. So for example, I have 3 W's, 1, 2, 3, 3 positive, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 positive W's. So do you have any zero pairs? Is there anything that we can cancel? No, in order to have a zero pair, we have to have the same positive and the same negative, right? So one positive, one negative in order to create a zero pair. So I don't have any negatives. So what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 W's that are positive. I have 7 W's that are positive. Next, I have X's. So let's see what I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 positive X's, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 minus X's. Oh, okay, so I have a plus and I have a minus. So something screams to me zero pair. So 1 plus, 1 minus, that equals 1 zero pair. So that goes away. 1 plus, 1 minus, that equals 1 zero pair. That goes away. 1 plus, 1 minus, that equals 1 zero pair. That goes away. I have 1 plus, 1 minus, that equals 1 zero pair. That goes away. So what do I have left on my X's? Do I have any X's left? It doesn't look like I have any X's left. Looks like they are all crossed out. So I'm not going to write anything. You can choose to write and 0 X's, but this right here, a lot of times mathematicians do not write it because if you have 0 of something, you have nothing, so they write nothing. Next up is our Q's. Let's see what I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus Q's, negative Q's. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 positive Q's. So because I have negative and positives, we're able to combine them and have like terms, and have zero pairs. They are like terms because both letters are Q, but we have zero pairs. So 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair, and that gets crossed out. 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. And our last one, 1 negative, 1 positive, that equals 1 zero pair. That gets crossed out. So what are we left over with? What's left over? I don't have any minus Q, so I don't have any negatives. This is all crossed out. However, I do have these three Q's. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 Q's. And what's the sign in front of them? They are positive. So when you are simplifying an expression or combining like terms, you want to know what your final answer is. So your final answer is 7 W's and 3 Q's is your final answer after you have combined like terms. Okay, so let's do one more example. And I want to show you an example of the terms, for example, x and x squared. So that way we know when to combine them and when not to combine them. So we are in example 3, I believe. So I mentioned x and x squared, so let's do that. So I have negative 3x plus 5x minus 4x squared plus 6w minus 5c's plus 8 minus 3. Let's do 3 W's and 2x squares. I'm running out of room here towards the bottom, so I'm going to try to make it very small and compact. So let's go ahead and write these out. I have x's. How many? 3. They are minus 1, 2, 3. I have x's. They have a 5. Let's try that again. I have x's. 5 of them. They are plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where it gets a little different. I have x squared. I have x squared. How many x squares do I have? 4. What's the sign? Minus. So what I have is I have minus x squared 4 times. Then I have w's. How many? 6. And they are plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next I have is c's. I have 5 c's. What's the sign? Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 8. Ooh, let's throw in a minus 3 at the end. Then I have 8. Do you see a letter in the behind 8? There is no letter attached to 8. So this here is just 8 pluses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pluses. I have 3 w's. 3 w's. What's the sign? A minus. 1, 2, 3. I see x squares again. How many x squares? 2. What's the sign? Pluses. So here's x squared. I have 2 of them. What's the sign? Plus. And at the end, I have a 3, which is a minus. There is no letter, so it's just minus 3. Now we get to start to combine those terms. So I have minus x, minus x, minus x. I also have plus x's. So that means that whenever you have a letter or a number that's plus and minus, that means you have 0 pairs and we need to combine them. So 1 minus and 1 plus, that's 1 0 pair. 1 minus 1 plus, that's 1 0 pair. 1 minus 1 plus, that is 1 0 pair. What is left over? I have 2 x's left over. What's the sign? They are a plus. Next up I have are my x squares. I have minus x squared, minus x squared, minus x squared, minus x squared, and then I have a plus x squared, plus x squared. Now again, whenever you have a minus and a plus of the same thing, you have 0 pairs. So in this case, I have a minus x squared and a plus x squared. A minus and a plus make 1 0 pair, and they get to be crossed out. A minus and a plus x squared, that is 1 0 pair, they get to be crossed out. I ran out of pluses, so what do I have left? I have left 2 x squares. Here's 1, here's the second one. What's the sign? It's a minus. Next up I have are w's. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 w's and 3 minus w's. So these are positive, these are negative. Again, whenever you have a positive and you have a negative, they are 0 pairs. So here's 1 positive, 1 negative. That is 1 0 pair. Cross it out. 1 positive, 1 negative. That is 1 0 pair. Cross it out. 1 positive, 1 negative. That is 1 0 pair. Cross it out. What do we have left over? I have 3 w's left over. What is the sign? The sign is a plus in front. Next up I have our c's. Trying to color code this. Can't really color code it. Can't really use a black highlighter. That would be weird. All right, so I have c's here that they have minus, but I see that I don't have anywhere else any other c's. So this is it. I don't have any like terms to combine because I only have one term. This is a term. I only have one term that is with c's. So what do I have? I still have a minus 5c left over. I didn't combine it with anything because I don't have any c's. All right, next up is I have just my numbers. Just my numbers. So I have, what do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pluses. And I have 3 minuses here. Now I don't have a blue highlighter. Oh, I do have a blue highlighter. There you go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have 3 minuses. So again, guess what, you guys? A 1 plus, 1 minus, 0 pair, cross it out. 1 plus, 1 minus, 0 pair, cross it out. 1 plus, 1 minus, 0 pair, cross it out. I have lots of more pluses, but I ran out of my minuses. So that means what is left over? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. 5 what? Well, these are just 5 pluses, so you're just going to add 5 pluses. You have 5 of what? Plus. You don't put a letter if there isn't a letter next to it. All right, so what is left over? That's it. Nothing's left over. Everything else has been circled, crossed out, so that is 8. So let's write our final answer. When it's asking you to combine like terms or simplify the expression, that's what we're doing here. And you're going to just write these all together now. I have 2x's, and I have minus 2x squared, and I have 3 w's, and I have 5 c's, and I have just 5. And that is your final answer for combining like terms. All right, beautiful people, this wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed combining like terms. In the next video, we will be practicing a little more, simplifying expressions. If you have any questions, please reach out. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.